Hey guys, Nikhil here from Banao. In this video, I'll be doing a detailed review of the Crompton QuietPro Plus. It's a BLDC motor inclined glass chimney. I purchased it about 4-5 months back, have been using it, and would love to share my thoughts on this. So first things first, I have a few notes here just to help me out to make sure I cover everything. At its core, a chimney's job is to take out odors from the kitchen, take out oil and fumes from the air right above the stove. That's all it is expected to do. But along with these activities, there are few functional areas on which I'll be reviewing this chimney, and starting with the very first thing, which is why we decided to go with this chimney and why inclined chimney. So 4-5 months back, when I was looking to change my previous chimney, that chimney was almost 10 years old. The main reason why I was frustrated with that chimney was, number one, the sound. The sound was so loud that I would end up rarely using the chimney because I just couldn't take that sound. And the second one was, it was not an inclined chimney, it would pop out like this. Because of that, you have no idea the number of times I've bumped my head while cooking. That too really bad, to a point where sometimes I would, get a bit dizzy. And that's probably because I'm tall, but still, like I was not willing to take that again. So these were the two main parameters. I wanted something more quiet, and I wanted something which will not, where I'll not bump my head. So from that context, we started searching, and this was one of the options which came up. There were a few more BLDC motor chimneys which came up, but for my budget, this was the only one which I could find at the time. So in this review, I want to talk about few different aspects. First thing is design and ergonomics, how it performs. Next would be, they have a filterless technology. A lot of modern chimneys have moved to filterless technology. I'll just quickly explain what that is, how the auto clean function works, the suction and the motor performance, the control panel and the gestures, whether they are good or bad. Overall, how the installation experience was, the maintenance and cleaning. Finally, we'll end with the pros and cons and whether you should consider buying it. So let's get started with the design. So when I'm talking specifically about the design, I really loved how it looks. I wished I had a kitchen which matched how well this chimney looked, because this beautiful black glass inclined like this, a very clean sort of hob cover here for the duct. And they have these nice accent here. Along with that, at the end, the stainless steel tray. I mean, I really liked how well the design is done. I also liked the button layout. It feels natural. I'll come to the functionality later. I'm talking purely about the design. And ergonomically, the fact that even when I, sort of bend down, my head doesn't hit the chimney is such a plus. You have no idea of the number of times I've bumped. From that aspect, I absolutely love what Crompton has done with this chimney. So let's move to the next part, which is the core technological breakdown. So here, the primary suction power over here comes from a BLDC motor. Along with that, this is a filterless technology. So what does that mean? In a lot of the traditional chimneys, you must have noticed that you'll have a filter which you have to clean every few months. You end up developing a lot of oil and grease on that filter. In a lot of the filterless chimneys, it's not just unique to this, but most of them work in a similar fashion. What happens is it sucks from the air. What it does is, once it's sucked, it uses the centrifugal force to separate out air and oil is collected in this tray below. Also, what happens is, when I click on auto clean, there is a heating element which heats up and makes sure that all of the oil melts into this specific tray. So this is the core part wherein makes this chimney a lot easy to maintain. And why that is important is, if you're someone who does a lot of cooking or frying or a lot of tadkas, the filtered chimney is very painful to clean. With this, that becomes a lot easier. I would suggest, irrespective of the brand you go with, look for both filterless and BLDC. Let's talk about BLDC a little bit more. We've done few videos on the BLDC, on mixer grinders with BLDC motors and things like that. Now, what is it with BLDC? See, it's a brushless motor. Essentially, what you need to know is, it is a lot more efficient because it's pure copper generating the magnetism and rotation. And because of that, the power bill for this is going to be a lot lower. The point here is, it will depend on what speed you're running the chimney at. I typically just run it at 2 or 3. This has 9 speeds where it can run and a booster speed. But if you're running at 2 or 3, this is going to consume quite less power. And my suggestion is, at least today, if you're looking at chimneys, look for BLDC, look for filterless. These two technologies should be core in your search. The next part in the technology is, they have given gesture controls. Now, essentially the way that works is, I'll just show you. I'll turn it on. Say I want the fan blower to start. All I do is this. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you notice, I had to try 2-3 times. The gesture control works, but it's not flawless. I would have preferred simpler buttons. In fact, more often than not, I just end up pressing the speed dial here, because the gesture control on paper sounds great, but there's a very specific way of doing it to make it to work, and I don't think everyone is gonna enjoy that a lot. The other part is when you're operating this chimney, this particular glass opens up, all the suction happens in the central area. The coverage on paper is just this narrow rectangular strip. Unlike a lot of traditional chimneys, that's not the case. I can assure you that from a suction power, it sucks out pretty much everything. So from a technology perspective, these were some of the core tech of this particular chimney. Next is how well it pulls out smoke and steam and all the tadka fumes and things like that. One thing I've noticed, the moment you start the chimney and you start doing your tadka or your smoke, even when you're, say, making tea and there's a lot of steam coming out, very rarely you'll even be able to see that steam anymore once the chimney is on. It's going to suck out pretty much everything. It has a great suction power, thanks to, of course, the BLDC motor and the high power which that delivers. So that issue you don't have to worry about at all. The suction power is absolutely on par with the top. Now the next part is, how often have I had to empty this tray? So till now, we've bought it about 4 months back. I've only had to empty the tray once, despite me running auto clean function a couple of times. That's probably because, at least over the last few months, we've not been using a lot of oils or fryings or not a lot of tadka, just barely anything. But as I said, because it's quite simple, you just pull out the tray. I mean, as you can see, it's quite empty right now. But till now, only once I've had to clean this. And cleaning this is a lot easier than cleaning those big filters. Next is the installation setup. I bought this on Amazon, and they immediately created a ticket with Crompton. Folks from Crompton connected with us. For us, fortunately, the duct vents were already created. Like, the duct actually goes through that, and the core cutting was already done. Keep this in mind that the core cutting, the installation team is not going to take care. You have to get the core cutting done on your own. Core cutting is essentially the hole in the wall. And then the installation team from Crompton will come and install the duct. Installation experience was pretty smooth. He had to come twice because one of the times, one of the wooden areas, the hole was a bit small. So we had to get the carpenter to come and open it up and things like that. Although I have checked Amazon reviews, some people have complained about the installation. Do check if in your region, if someone has had complaints, or before placing an order, just give Crompton a call and ensure that you have installation service available in your region. So the next part is quite nice from a cleaning perspective. Just before this video, for instance, there was, this is a glass. So cleaning any sort of material off of glass is super easy. Like, you just spray some Colin and clean it with a microfiber cloth, looks as good as new, and doesn't have any scratches also. This is one of the things I didn't like in my previous chimney. It was a metal chimney. Cleaning it would be a bit irritating, but also you'll end up developing a lot of scratches on the surface. So this is quite nice. Maintenance wise, I explained to you, auto clean feature, oil comes in the tray, you just clear it. So for me personally, the biggest pro was it's an inclined design. I don't have to hit my head. The second one was I really like the glass surface. It looks good, it cleans easily. I mean, absolutely beautiful. The other part of the pro is the BLDC motor, very high suction power, and you can run it at pretty low speeds and it still delivers a great suction output. Because it's BLDC, at lower powers, it's relatively quiet. You will not hear it that much. And I don't run it at more than 2 or 3 points, although it supports a booster mode and it goes up to 9 points. So the next pro is it is a filterless technology. I just explained to you using the centrifugal force to separate out oil and air, and then the oil gets collected in the tray. So cleaning of filters is a big headache in a lot of the old chimneys. In this, that's not the case. The controls, the touch controls are good. Gesture controls, it is available. If you know exact muscle memory to do it the right way, it's good. If not, the touch controls are pretty solid. Absolutely no issues with the controls, very simple. So the first con I did not like is at higher speeds, it's still quite loud. Not as loud as my older chimney, but still it's quite loud where you will not be comfortable using it. So only use it when you're cooking something really lot of tadka and there'll be a lot of fumes or a lot of frying. The next con is the gesture control. I just showed you an example. It's not that reliable. It works. Whenever the demo guy did it, he did it like 8 times, and for him it worked all 8 times. For me, it works only once and 2-3 times. So I end up using the touch control itself. Okay, now this is an interesting con. The chimney looks beautiful. The glass finish on this is also awesome. The problem is any colored stain, even if it's a small stain, is clearly visible in the black backdrop. So be aware of that. Although cleaning it is easy, but when it gets dirty, it is so evident and clear that you'll want to clean it a lot more. I have personally not had a bad installation experience. Some people on Amazon have commented that I've had a bad installation experience, so that's another con. It has a good warranty. Crompton is a well-known brand, although in the recent times it has been going through its own ups and downs, so please keep that in mind. Crompton in itself is not known for chimneys. Typically people end up buying Faber and those kind of brands. So if you're evaluating it, my personal experience has been good. No complaints, the installation was good. But from a con perspective, Crompton, generally known for fans and things like that, they've come into chimneys. I like this product, but you have to keep that in mind. Another con is you'll notice that it has a light feature. That light is as good as not having that light feature. If you see light, you can barely notice the light is turned on. I think they should just, not advertise that feature, honestly. The last con is, compared to a lot of traditional chimneys, the BLDC chimneys will be a bit more pricey. This one costed me around 22,000 rupees, including installation and everything. Right now with discounts and all, I think you can get it for about 18,000 rupees, 19,000. The problem here is, keep this in mind that a lot of the traditional chimneys, you'll get about 12 to 15K. However, I have a point to note here. If you use your chimney a lot, you'll end up saving a lot more in electricity costs over the life of the chimney compared to this, because this is BLDC and those are conventional methods, so they consume a lot more power and are a lot louder. So let's get into the conclusion. Who is this for? Do I recommend it? Guys, for me, if anyone's looking for an inclined chimney, this is a great option. I've not had any issues with it. It's quite nice. The usage is quite simple. Installation experience was good. Suction power is great. And I run it at about 2 or 3 settings. It's not very loud. Other than that, there's no real complaints for this. If you're in the market for this exact chimney, go for it. If you're worried that Crompton, whether the brand will do good at chimney and if Faber is better, from that standpoint, I think that shouldn't be a criteria to take you away from this. Because if I just wear my engineering hat here, I can assure you that most of these chimneys are made in the same factories in China or probably the same factories in India. Most of these brands actually don't manufacture it themselves. They just white label, and Crompton as a brand is quite well known. So my only suggestion is check for service and installation near your area before you purchase. Just give Crompton a call. I had done that as well. And if you have a local dealer, nothing like it, because spares and all those things, if something does go wrong, will be quite simple to replace. If you are planning to buy this chimney or any other chimney, use the link for Amazon in the description. It helps support the channel and we'll get to make a lot more videos like this. Is there any other product you want us to check out? Let us know in the comment section below. We are looking forward to hearing from you. Any questions about this chimney, we'll be happy to answer it. See you all in our next video. Bye guys.